Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Splitgate update. My name is Jesse Griffin, and I'm the Live Ops Product Coordinator here at 1047 Games. I am, of course, joined with Derek Jones, our lead game designer, and Josh Watson, our design director. Today, we're going to discuss our most recent playtest and what the survey results had said, as well as announce our next playtest, which is this week, Friday and Saturday, the 10th and 11th. On Friday, the playtest is from 3 to 6 p.m., and on Saturday, 10 to 1 Pacific time. Before we dive into what's to come, Josh, if you give us a quick recap on some of the data points that we saw from the last playtest.
Yeah, for sure. So for those that missed it, in our last playtest, we tried out a recharge-based portal system where players were limited to 4 portals that regenerated over 8 seconds. We had a lot of people jump in and check out the changes, share their thoughts, and we learned a ton from that feedback that y'all shared with us. Overall, the sentiment leaned negative, which is not totally unexpected when you're putting limitations on a historically unlimited mechanic. But the test really allowed us to see how these mechanics play out across wider ranges of skills and combat environments. That's when we got to really see the system's limitations. The first being that system had an inconsistent impact across map design. So on some maps, it slowed the gameplay down to a place where, frankly, it was too much, right? And it disincentivized engagements. And so look at other maps, some of the smaller maps like Core, and it felt somewhat more appropriate there, right? And so there's different impacts across these map designs. And ultimately, what that means for us is that it pushes us towards this homogeneous map pool where we have to make everything kind of the same, which is at odds with what we ultimately want to do with maps. We want to make sure that we can bring new experiences, new sizes, in different play experiences at large. So also it added sort of like a friction to high stress situations that was just generally not positive, right? It made portal play in combat really punishing, and it was leading to players not wanting to engage with the mechanic with combat, which is obviously not our intention. On top of that, we sort of saw this added complexity to the system at large, which is already a complicated system. And so that sort of additional cognitive load, it just makes the mechanic a bit more difficult to grasp for inexperienced players. So ultimately, it's clear to us that the recharge system is not the right fit, right? So we're not going to do that. But it did show us that there's like an interest in more thoughtful engagements. It showed us that there was a desire for combat to feel clearer and easier to follow. And so our immediate focus is on making fights more readable, right? With clear audio, visual feedback when engaging with portals. And we also want to add tools for meaningful counterplay against portals. And so that starts with the EMP Grenade, which we're really eager to test in the sandbox. And so we're going to be working on that. We're going to be working hard on that. And we hope to show y'all some of the fruits of that effort in the future playtests. And so I know we all really appreciate everybody for coming out and trying it out and testing out these big changes. That's what makes these things really, really valuable. So we really couldn't do this without you. So really appreciate it, everyone.
Yeah, well said, Josh. Absolutely. With our focus on more readable combat, Josh and we actually just did a playtest with our audio team, and they're doing a lot of different work to make sure that sounds are very distinct and you can get an idea of where portals are, where the gunshots are coming from. So stay tuned for these changes. I think that it's a good step in the right direction. Speaking of the next playtest, Derek, can you talk to us a bit about what's to come?
Yeah, totally. So we've got 2 super exciting things coming that I'm super excited to get in everybody's hands. First one, Abyss is back. You guys asked for it, and we heard you loud and clear. We've heard a lot of commentary about missing the verticality in maps that existed in Splitgate and has been lacking in Splitgate 2. And we've also heard a lot of requests of the asymmetry that existed in Splitgate maps that has been lacking in Splitgate 2. And we think Abyss totally delivers on both of those areas that we've been lacking. We're looking at some other Splitgate maps that we might be able to bring back for relaunch. So if there's any specific ones that you guys want to see, let us know. The second thing is we're super excited to add a new experience to the game. So we've talked a bunch about wanting to, at relaunch, deliver on the promise of Splitgate 1, and that's what we've got, which is classic arena mode. So this will live alongside our loadout-based arena experience. This is a new dedicated experience of classic arena, which is even starts, everybody gets a carbine and an assault rifle, and then alongside the normal power weapons on the map, we're introducing legendary secondary pickups on the maps. So similar to Splitgate 1, where you could run around the map and pick up a battle rifle or a submachine gun. In this experience, you start with a carbine and an assault rifle, and you can run around and pick up burst rifles and SMGs on the map. And those weapons, to be a bit stronger than your base loadout, will have all 5 attachments on them. As Josh mentioned, we're working on an EMP grenade within Splitgate, so it's not ready for this playtest yet, but within this mode, we're also planning on giving everyone an EMP grenade, just like we had in Splitgate.
Yeah, well said. And with the EMP grenades, they obviously will behave a little different than Splitgate 1. I believe we've already talked about this, but quick recap if you're unaware, they're going to now shut down the portal wall for a specific amount of time rather than just clearing the portal off of the wall. So it behaves a little differently, but we're really excited to get feedback when the time is right. And as for the classic arena mode, it feels really nice being able to pick up an SMG again.
One thing that we're changing in this playtest is we've gotten a lot of feedback around the time to kill changes that we've been testing. What we've seen is most people prefer this longer time to kill. What we're hearing from you guys is we went a little bit too far and it's feeling a little bit too long. So in this test, we've pulled it back a little. This new middle ground we think is feeling a lot better. We're looking forward to hearing from you if we think this is a better spot, and we're feeling good about it.
We're really excited for this playtest, which is once again this Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And with these playtests in mind, as always, feedback is a gift. So please keep letting us know your thoughts. We are available, of course, on Twitter, social media in general. But join the Discord if you want to keep up to date with just what's new. With that, of course, Josh, Derek, thank you both so much for your time being here. And to the viewers as well, we really appreciate your time being a part of Splitgate 2. So thank you.